ways to learn about thesis statements, especially if you're really nervous about them, is for me to show you some good ones and some bad ones. So what I've done here is create a bunch of really silly thesis statements. Although I should note to you, Harry Potter is actually a movie and a franchise and a story that has had a lot of academic attention. So there are a lot of real people who write thesis statements about Harry Potter. None of these are taken from them. These are from my own little imagination. But what I'm going to do here is go through the 8 that I have and explain to you why some of them are strong and why some of them are weak. Because usually if you can get a sense of what a good thesis statement looks like, you can create one yourself. So let's take a look. Number 1, in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry becomes a wizard and engages in his first battle with Lord Voldemort. All right, so a couple of things that are going on here that are good. I'm identifying the story that I'm talking about. That's very helpful in the same way that you're going to identify your primary resource, the story you're talking about. What's the problem here? Harry becomes a wizard and engages in his first battle with Lord Voldemort. That's a fact. That is not an argument. That is a fact. If you read the story to a 3-year-old, they would be able to tell you this fact. So for that reason, it is not a good argument because it's not telling me something that is new and innovative, something you've realized. This is just a fact about the story itself. Number 2, the friendship between Ron and Harry is one of the most important relationships in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And this is still not a very good thesis statement. I'll tell you, 1 through 6 are not very good. The reason is because we don't tell you why. This is telling me an argument. The argument is that Harry and Ron are very important characters and their relationship is very important, and that is an argument. But why? Why particularly is it an important relationship? What makes it important? So in this example, number 2, what we have is an argument with no points to look at. Where are you going to look? If you gave me this thesis statement, I wouldn't know where to look to find evidence of that. I wouldn't know what evidence you're thinking of. So for that reason, it's not a very strong thesis statement. Number 3, I think that the relationship between Ron and Harry represents the importance of friends in the lives of adolescents. Again, the same thing is happening in this thesis statement. You're giving me an argument, or well, I'm giving me an argument, but I'm not telling you why. Why is this relationship so important? So again, the most important thing always in thesis statements is to give an argument and then to give proof. The 2 or 3 or 4 things you're going to look at to prove what you believe. All right, number 4. In Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry grows from being a sad and lonely kid to being a powerful wizard with the help of several major characters. And this is not bad. I'm telling you, my argument is that he grows up from being a very young and helpless child to being a much more powerful, almost a man by the end. The reasons this is not a very strong thesis statement is because I'm not telling you what major characters, who is helping. Again, this is a thesis statement that has an argument, but doesn't break down and tell me what kind of points are you going to be looking at. Where in the story am I going to be looking for this evidence? All right, number 5, Lord Voldemort has much in common with comic book villains. This is the beginning of really, really good thesis statement and actually a paper I would love to write. Lord Voldemort does have a lot in common with comic book villains. What kinds of things might they be? This is a thesis statement that once again has a really clever and good argument, but doesn't break down. It should say he has a lot in common with comic book villains, like he has a dramatic costume, like he has power that, is very unbelievable, and that he has a nemesis in Harry Potter, a kind of a blood feud that goes on forever, like other comic book villains. Giving the reasons, giving the proofs in this thesis statement would make it much stronger. All right, number 6. It is obvious that J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, thinks that muggles are not as good as witches and wizards. And once again, this is a thesis statement with a good argument, but no proof. I have no idea how you might go about proving this. You could improve this by saying, read this exact thesis statement and then add comma, because X, Y, and Z. And right now I cannot tell you why, but trying to always have evidence is really important. All right, so here are the 2 that are really quite good, I think. Number 7, J.K. Rowling deals with several important social issues in her book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, such as class tension, moral challenges, and public violence. You can see here a couple of things going on. 1, I've identified the story that I'm going to be talking about. 2, I suggest my argument. She deals with important social issues. And that is my argument that that's what she's really writing about. And then here, class tension, moral challenges, and public violence. I identify exactly what those are. So I know my first paragraph is going to be on class tension. I know my second paragraph is going to be on moral challenges, and my third is on public violence. So it breaks down really clearly. Last one, by creating new words and creatures in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, J.K. Rowling establishes an exciting world to help engage her readers. And once again, we have an argument, we have points, and we have the name of the primary source.